Okay, Wilfred.
Yep.
Okay, first of all, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. We've been neighbors like for 1 year. We never spent time together, and I'm gonna let you why. Since I arrived there, I always see you like you are a serious person with your family, and you are like very focused, and
Yep.
I respect that. I don't want to you feel like, wow, this Ray never talked to me before. It's because of that. I respect your space. I respect like your family, and you look like you're doing some good. So that's my answer of that. So here we're gonna talk about your business and your story, and how you say this in English. Like, I'm happy to hear where this started. You as a dog's trainer.
Man. First off, I'm gonna say, like, you have me to the T. It's funny you can look at me from across the street and see that. Like, I'm a family man. I go to work, I play my video games at home, and that's it, man. Like, but just to see that from a distance, it's good. That's the perception I want people to have, that, man, I'm gonna do my job, be with my family, like my girls are my world. Everything else is secondary, and same for you. Like, I was like, oh, he not outside much. He's probably working, but I'm the same way. Like, we'll see each other when we see each other.
Because I was a barber, so I when you are a barber and you do too many haircuts to too many different people, you understand people from
Yes.
far away. So it's like the aura, you can feel the negativity or the positivity. You feel like something when
Absolutely.
you work with people.
Yep.
So that's what happened to me. So how you been dog trainer?
So I've been training for 10 years now.
15?
10. 10
10 years.
Not 15. I'm going to get there, but we're not there yet.
So it was always your dream?
Always loved animals as a kid. Had my first dog. My mom gave it away at 9, and I got an adrenaline rush from. He did what was called resource guarding. So it's like
Okay.
when you go mess with the dog's food and they snap at you or growl.
Yeah.
He did that, and I got an adrenaline rush from it. Like, I had fun with it. I'm like, that was stupid. Now that I know better, but I still loved animals. So 18, got another dog. She got bit by a snake, passed away. Then
Ooh.
I got my current dog, the one you see now. And
So that's your third dog?
so technically, yeah, he's my third. He's my first that I've had I got him with the family and stuff like that. But the other two, like, he's considered my third. And I also, as a kid, I applied to, I think, like the Audubon Zoo program, volunteer program. Didn't get selected, but I just always loved animals, and I knew I didn't want to be a vet because I had to go back to school. Like I said, I played college baseball, so I was like, I don't want to go back to school.
What career you was pursuing in college?
Just business.
Business?
I knew I wanted to run a business, so I was like, I'm gonna learn
Any
that and
business
figure
in
it
that
out.
moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
At that point, it was anything.
And you got graduate?
I didn't graduate, so I did 2 years. I think so. I left in August. October, my dad had a stroke, and then November he had another stroke. So I come back for Thanksgiving. My dad didn't know my name.
Wow.
And that kind of hit me hard. I went back to school and like tried to keep playing. It's tough, man. Like, that was in the back of my mind. I was in Arkansas and hours away from home,
So okay.
and my mom's she was taking care of my dad at that point. So I couldn't keep pushing to play. And in high school, it's not like I could transfer.
Yeah.
Because I graduated with a 1.9 GPA.
Okay.
So no college wanted me to come. They wanted me to go to a junior college first, which is where I was. Then I was like, I'm just gonna drop it all together. I played amateur ball for a while in Lafayette after college. And as I got older, I was just like, man, like, I'm chasing a dream that I'm a grown man now. Like, I'm not a kid. I can't keep wanting to play this game
Okay.
when I have to take care of my family.
So for that moment, you was already a father?
No, I wasn't a father yet.
Yet.
Probably the next year I had my daughter, and by then I was just like, I really can't go back and play ball. It's too late. Like,
So everything come together. So you drop out college, the baby come, and then you start the dog training.
Yes, that's
Everything
exactly,
boom, boom, boom.
That's
And your father
exactly how it
passed away.
happened. So my dad passed in 2020.
I'm really sorry.
That's fine. It wasn't of like COVID. It was natural causes. I mean,
Yeah.
we hear so much about health nowadays, of how important that is. And as a child, I watched my dad. He had diabetes. Bam. Never took care of himself. Always ate what he wanted. I wake up 3, 4 in the morning. He's sneaking a cookie. And I'm like, Dad, you're not supposed to have it. He's like, oh, yeah, I know I'm going to do better. I felt responsible for that because when my dad got
Yeah.
sick, I felt responsible because I was the one that really took care of my dad outside of my mom and made sure he was doing what he was supposed to do. So when he did pass, like it was all good. Like we had our, what's the word I'm looking for? Like everything was
Your
okay.
drama.
No drama. Like
drama?
it wasn't drama. Everything was good when he passed.
So when you start your dog training,
So I started at Petco. Shout out to Miss Laura. She was the one who trained me, and I appreciated her because she had 30 years of experience, one.
Okay.
And she worked with canines and stuff like that. But also, she taught me psychology.
so you start like a regular employee, or you go there to have the training?
I knew I went there with a goal. So I knew I wanted to be a dog trainer.
Okay.
But they started me out as a cashier.
A cashier. Amazing.
Like, basic.
Okay, cashier, and then you start to pull your strings. How you
Yep.
do it?
I just work hard, man. Like within a year, they had me in the dog training program, and I was training with Miss Laura. Like I tell everybody, you get out what you put in. So they gave me that cashier position. I was like, just gonna be the best cashier they got. Then they moved me to like something else, and I'm like, I'm gonna do good at this too. And once I got good at that second thing, that's when I started like being persistent with the GM at that store. I was like, look, this is my goal. Don't put me
And they
nowhere
know
else.
they know the goal.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
I made it like
So
obvious. Like,
they testing you. That was testing you.
pretty much
Oh,
to
okay.
see if I was worth it, because if with anybody, like if you're not persistent and telling them, hey, this is what I want, they're gonna stick you anywhere. So they probably would have made me a GM to another store. I don't want that. I could care less about that part. I want to do dog training, so don't put me nowhere else.
So when you was doing the dog training there, when you start to book clients for yourself outside that?
So when was that? That was like early July. They were like, hey, Will, Miss Laura's going, she's moving to a store in Georgia, and you're going to be the head trainer. And I'm like, I can't handle it, but okay.
Why not?
Because the things that walk in Petco, I just didn't have the confidence yet
Okay.
to take on those roles.
Yeah.
But what happened was I was like, well, I'm going to be the head trainer, but I need off. I think it was July 17th or 27th or something. And this was in like 2014 for my family reunion. And they were like, you can't have that off because you're the head trainer. We need a dog trainer in the store.
Okay.
I'm like, well, you could try and schedule me. I'm not going to show up. And that day came and I didn't show up, but I already had a plan in my head. I'm like, I'm going to just open my own business. And from then on, like July 17th, that's when Woo for Ed's dog training started, because I knew you're going to fire me for not showing up. But I told you I needed this day off for a family reunion. I'm a family man. You didn't give me off. That's on you.
And then in that moment, you already have the name of the business?
I didn't. So my ex-wife's sister-in-law, my ex-wife's sister came up with the name. So we were texting in a family group text about like business names.
Okay.
And she came up with Woo for Ed's, and I took it and ran.
So how time take to have the name? Weeks, days, 24
Took a
hours?
couple of days, like probably not even days, probably close to 24 hours. Like she's a art person, so her creativity is crazy, man.
And then, but not yet you take clients outside the store yet? Or a few?
Before my business, no. So
Or
I
you
got the
don't want
business
to tell
name
because
first.
Miss Lara is going to be listening?
So I got the business name, and then like I was taking clients. Like it was soon as I left Petco, started taking clients. Got another job at like a doggy daycare. I had another job. I was constantly serving at a restaurant in Lafayette. I was serving waiting tables, but on third job, I was working as a dog trainer as well. So I was putting clients late in the evening.
So how on your training goes to what level to what level in terms of on dogs?
So I go, I mean, basic obedience, advanced obedience. I could take behavioral issues, pretty much whatever you want done outside of like service dogs, protection, stuff like that. I can take it. I don't really, so in the dog training world, we call it dog sports.
Yeah.
Don't really do dog sports or anything like that. But if you just want a good family dog, we could get you there. All we need is time with the dog.
So let's talk about the interesting part of be a dog owner, because you are
Okay.
training the dog, but you
Yeah.
also training the owner.
You know,
You
too
never
much.
think about
Yeah,
that?
man. My job, I tell everybody, is 75 human, 25% dog.
Exactly.
The dog is easy, man. It's the humans.
And they don't talk. That's the part. They
Yep.
don't talk.
That's it.
So, your part, I need to do this question too, your part of training include, how you say, I don't know how to say in English,
What's that?
how you say it, some trainers train their dogs with treats,
Oh, like
another with,
training style, training methods.
yeah,
Okay, so I'm what they call a balance trainer.
color balance.
I go to anything that the dog needs. So first thing I'm gonna go in with is your treats, positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
But just like a kid, like if you know better, now I can start disciplining you because you understand what sit means. So if your butt don't hit the ground,
Okay.
you'll get a correction. A
Yeah.
correction can be a leash correction. It could be a little knee. It could be spatial pressure. There are so many different forms of corrections,
Yeah.
but you're going to get one of them because you're not listening.
So, did you know what surprised me as a dog owner? Too many people have dog issues, right? And they think that is normal, and it's not. Dog issues can give you trouble.
Yeah.
Can give you trouble.
Could be a
for
liability.
you and for other person that you don't know, and they ignore the solution of have a trainer because that's the normal behavior of a dog.
Yeah.
So if they do the dog training and people do it like myself, you'll be surprised how smart is your dog, and you think it's stupid.
Yeah. And it enriches and changes not just the human life, but it changes the dog's life. Like, how often do you see my dog outside with me while I'm cutting the grass, washing the car? The girls are playing outside. Like, my dog enjoys that. Like, I could go to the park and my dog can just run off leash, or I can have a long line and he's not going to run away. Outside of just that, I mean, it's safety, man. Like, imagine I had a big bad dog and I was letting him outside just to do whatever he be in your yard, he be in everybody's yard, barking at you in your yard, and you'd be like, "Will, get your dog, I'm gonna shoot him." Realistically, like, I am a realist, man. Like,
So you have your dog since puppy,
I got him at 2 years old, so I adopted
so
him.
it was late.
Yeah,
Yeah, so people think it's late, but it's not.
nah.
It's never too late to train
If
the
they
dog.
want to eat, they can learn. Like, if they have a motivation, if they like the ball, a piece of food, a piece of paper, like whatever you want, you're gonna work for it until you get that. Like, it's not given to you until you do what I say.
Okay, so you've been in the business 10 years.
Yep,
So you have a lot of dog issues.
I've ran into anything you can think of.
Exactly. So I need to know the top two stories of the dog that dog I ain't never gonna forget.
Jesus, I got one that I could think of. I'll never forget this dog, Gabby. Gabby came to me, and she's probably
Gabby's the dog or the owner?
the dog.
Okay.
So she was one of my worst, but she's now the best. Gabby came to me on Prozac. That's like crazy.
So medication.
That's like my dog is crazy, and she was on some high Prozac.
To
And
calm down the dog.
to keep her like
Yeah.
chill. First day I took her outside, like her tail was tucked. She didn't even know how to be outside, man. Like,
She
she
was-
was scared.
She was
She
shaking.
shaking. She was barking and lunging at other dogs. Like, she was bad. And we did some work with her and mom. Like, well, she came to me first. She stayed with me for about 2 or 3 weeks. We did that. Then we started working with mom. And like we said before, the human has to change.
Yeah.
Took a little bit for mom to start coming around, but once she started coming around, like, Gabby's no longer on Prozac. And then mom also went and got a puppy. Mom didn't call me and say, hey, Will, like, I got a puppy. I need training. She trained that puppy herself because she had got enough information and knowledge from me to where she didn't need me anymore. She called me for tips like, hey, Will, like, this is what I'm dealing with. How do I fix it? And like, you remember we went over this with Gabby? Do the same thing. That's all she needed. So, like, that's the pride I take. Like, I don't want to train your next puppy. I want to know that I gave you enough information to where you ain't got to pay me again. And you be like, hey, well, like, this my new puppy. I trained it myself. What you think? That's what I like.
Yeah, because that's another issue. People pay for training and they forgot to follow up the dog.
Yep.
Like people want the solution, right? But they don't want the journey.
They want instant results.
Exactly. And with the dog, when you train the dog, it takes maybe 2-3 weeks to fix. And it takes maybe 2 weeks again to come back.
Yeah.
If you don't follow up the easy steps.
And I tell people all the time, like, I had a lady call me a couple of days ago and she gave me a bunch of issues. She was like, well, how long you think it's going to take? My dog is 5. I'm like, you got 5 years of this particular issue with this dog. You think I'm going to come in 2 months and fix this? Like, after 5 years? That may take years to fix. But also, at a certain point, I don't even try and fix it. I teach the parents how to manage the behavior. Everything can't be fixed. Like, some people think, oh, yeah, my dog don't like other dogs. And if I get a trainer, he don't like dogs. No, he may never like dogs in his life. But I'm going to teach you how to manage this to where if he is around another dog, he knows how to behave.
Yes. So what is your second top story?
Woo!
Below Gabby. Well, Gabby do something that you can, like, wow, she bite another person or something like that.
She had some dog fights. She had some dog fights, and she still kind of has, I wouldn't say the dog issue.
Yeah.
She's like still kind of scared of like strange humans. I had to go pick her up the other day, and mom wasn't home. I have the key to the house. So I go unlock the door. Gabby's at the door sniffing me. She hadn't seen me in months. She's sniffing me and her hair's raised. If I would have moved like in a weird way, she would have bit me. Because I'm in the house, mom's not home.
Wow.
But luckily, like, I knew, like...
What breed is that dog?
She's a pit mix.
Pit mix?
And I love pit bulls. Like, I have nothing against them, but that's the kind of dog you want at your house. That I don't care who you are coming in here, you better make me feel okay, because if not, I'm going to tear your ass up. That's my dog. Like, he don't care who you are. You better be in here for a good reason, because if you're not, we got a problem.
So what is the second top story?
Second story, Baron. Baron, he's a German Shepherd. Baron looked like he should be in the military. And he was snapping at people, bite issues, stuff like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was big and bad. Like, Baron got to be 120, man. Like, huge German
And he
Shepherd.
was trained before you?
No, he wasn't trained.
Okay.
And what happened with him, his dad passed. And mom was like, he just went crazy after that. Like, dogs have emotions just like we do.
Yeah.
So he went crazy after that. I had an employee at the time. He worked with Baron, with my guidance, of course. Like, worked with Baron, got Baron good. But the employee got let go. Baron wasn't used to me. So I had to go in and teach Baron that, hey, me and you got this new relationship.
Yeah.
And Baron would give me some eyes like, I ain't cool with you like that. We grew that relationship, but I was able to grow that relationship in days because mom kept on training. Like, I don't care, honestly.
Exactly.
I don't care what the dog can do, because I could do anything with the dog. You give me an hour with the dog, I'll give you a new dog. But I got to give you that dog back. He not coming home with me. So I'm going to make the dog look good, but that's your dog. He going to be in your house. So you need to get this done with the dog. That's when training really kicks in, because you could get the same results as I get with your dog. Most. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. You are absolutely right. You are in the process to train the dog, but hoping that the moment that continue the journey.
I'm gonna be honest. Like sometimes it feels like a scam, man. Because I get some parents, and I'm like, I don't know why you paid me. But then I also get some parents where I told my parent today, I was like, eventually that light bulb clicks for a parent, and they're like, I'm tired of this shit. And that light bulb clicks, and we like 3 or 4 sessions in, but at least it finally clicked to where they start incorporating what they're supposed to because they're tired of it and they know what they're supposed to do and they're tired of letting the dog get away with certain things. Every parent hits that edge and they're at rock bottom and they're like, I'm tired of it. And then they're like, bam, I'm gonna start applying what Will been telling me. And the sky's the limit from there. Like, it's amazing to watch. I hate watching them get to that age, but it happens.
So what happened with me with Roma? Roma is my Doberman. Okay. Roma, we live before there. We live in an apartment in downtown New Orleans, and Roma was attacked by a dog when the elevator opened. The dog, the father don't have the leash, have a long leash, so the dog go inside and attack Roma. So from that moment, Roma developed PTSD. So every time the elevators was open, she was ready to attack.
Yep.
So she flipped. So if every time we go in the elevator, she was already shaking, shaking. And then when any floor open, whoa. So they put me. How you say this? They tell me that she need to have like a muzzle, and I was doing everything with the training, but the pain she have, it was very difficult because what I do in the beginning, I started training with the empty building. When the people go to work 9 to 5, I was floor by floor. So when the elevator opened,
push all the buttons on the elevator like a kid.
So she was ready. Nope. Sit down, and then I start down, like completely down in every floor, down until she calm. But that take me like more than 1 year.
But that's what it takes. Like
more than 1 year. But a lot of neighbor, they don't train their dogs. So even if I'm training hard, she come back to step one when another dog come back inside the elevator. It was like a dog fight. And Roma is not a dog that ever attacked the dog. She was defending herself.
Yeah.
Because Roma is the sweetest Doberman that you ever can meet. I'm 200%. But after that situation, I was, taking, I give her pills to control her, but it was nothing. So I start to take the stairs, baby. I take the stairs for my dog. I go down and I go up, and I live in the 18th floor, baby. I do that for my dog. So
that's a workout.
It was a workout. And after that, he was diagnosed with cancer. And that was the hardest part because they cut the leg. So they're supposed to cut the leg through the top. But I request to cut it below if the cancer don't go, all the leg up. Oh, I never talked to this, so I feel like, So they cut the leg here. The cancer was off. So now my dog have 3 legs. So have 3 legs, PTSD with the elevator. And I'm in the 18th floor, no stairs, options.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I'm in a situation that is hard. So I buy a car. It's a wheelchair for dogs.
Yeah.
For big dogs. So she was on medication, but one day we was in the wheelchair through the elevator again, and one of the dog without leash get inside. Roma fell. I fell. She's trapped with the wheelchair. It was horrible. So that tells me we need to move. We need to move to a house that she have a yard and she's happy. She don't have stress and she can recover in a way more healthy in his mind. So that's why I live in front of your house because she was having a hard time and now she's happy. He's a happy dog. She's trained. You see, she don't go out.
Yeah.
I can leave the gate open and she don't go out because now she expressed so much gratitude with her training because in that area it was not working a lot because she have the problem there. So I need to move.
That's
the story.
That's a crazy story, man. Because I would have never thought of that like in a million years. And it's crazy because somebody else's dog
Exactly.
can mess yours up. Like you didn't do anything wrong. You
I
just
didn't do
on the
anything
elevator, you got your leash, and something happens. And I tell everybody, man, I don't care how good your dog is. They're animals at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
even my dog, like he's an animal, so
He can flip.
run off.
He can flip.
But I'm keeping too close of an eye. As soon as he looks across the street while your dog is barking, if he looks over there, I'm leaving and walking towards him just in case he shoots off. You can never be too safe. So like, I'm sorry, man. Like, because I see that too often and it pisses me off because you're irresponsible with your dog, your child,
Yeah.
and it messed your dog up. Like it became dog aggressive or dog reactive.
Yeah. For something so
with
simple.
putting a leash on.
Put the leash.
That's it.
That's it. So those neighbor of mine, if you are listening, I hope you put the leash. You know,
Get training. Like
get training, basics, sit. That's not that hard. Sit.
and I under some people like say it's expensive. It's an investment. That's what I tell people.
It's not expensive.
You're not going to pay for like the cheapest schooling for your child or get them the cheapest laptop they can have for school. You took this animal in. So like training to me is a requirement for every dog, big, small, medium size, because at the end of the day, a big bite and a small bite is still a bite.
It's still
I
a
don't
bite.
care. It's not my dog's fault that he's 80 pounds. Like that's just how he grew up. So it's still a bite. Everybody needs training because if, like we said at the beginning, the humans need training too. You're not educated on how to have a fluent conversation with your dog, and for them to understand, and you need to learn.
And it's amazing. You can train your dog if you don't without your voice, just with signals. So that
Yep.
any dog, because people say, oh, it's a small dog, he's not gonna listen. Even the smallest dog have your attention to be a better dog for you,
Yep.
because people don't understand also that you are the owner, you are the alpha. They can die for you. Even if
That's it.
you think your dog is stupid, he's not stupid.
No.
He can die for you because he loves you more than himself. That's amazing from dogs, you know.
Exactly.
And what do you think about these dogs, any breed, that you trust him, is always been a good dog, and they bite a baby?
It's a two-sided coin, man, because sometimes I'm not even looking at the dog. I tell everybody a dog is gonna be a dog,
Exactly.
but where was the human?
Where was the human?
Like my dog and my 1-year-old, like they're tight as can be, but my dog trusts me to be the parent and say, all right, Alina, that's enough. Stop the baby. Because he's not doing nothing wrong. He's letting it happen and just hanging there.
Exactly.
But she can't handle every dog like that. So like the dogs that I train at the house, she's not handling those dogs like that. One, because I can't trust that dog, but also I know my daughter, how she's gonna act. and I'm just gonna be a parent and say, nope, you can't go into that situation. So some people like act like they're surprised when it happens, and I'm like, that dog just didn't go crazy and was like, fuck that, I'm biting this kid.
Exactly.
That dog shows signals of, mom, I'm uncomfortable, mom, I'm uncomfortable. Then they finally bite, it gets your attention, but they've been giving you signals for weeks.
And they kill the dog after that.
It sucks. I hate that, man, because it's not the dog's fault. It's the parents' fault for not getting training, not being cautious with a baby and an animal. I always tell people, like, animals correct each other. So if you're not going to be the parent in the house, the dog's like, well, I got to be the parent, so I'm going to correct this baby because you ain't going to do shit.
That's right.
That's it.
So any story that you have in your business in these 10 years that you have issue with the parent, like those parents that they want the money back because the dog is crazy again? You don't tell me you don't have those kinds, because like
Yes.
I understand
I
the
have 'em.
industry.
I have anything you can imagine, man. After 10 years, I've been through some stuff, man. It's not all bad. Like, I'd say the first 8 or 9 years, smooth. Like, it was great. But at this point, within the past 2 years, it's been one thing after another. Like,
Tell me to understand.
I'm trying to think of one. I have one specifically in my head, but I can't speak on it.
Because it's too recent.
Well, it became a legal issue. So
Okay,
I can't
okay.
really speak on that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, this is a good one. Parent adopted a dog. Called me, bam, hey, I need training. Okay, well, let's get some training going. We got everything started. They brought the dog back. Like, we did one session, they brought the dog back.
To you?
No,
Like-
they brought the dog back to the shelter.
No.
Like, and
They are not humans.
And
People
actually-
like that is not human.
and it's kind of like they asked me for a refund, and I'm like, I didn't get a chance to do my job.
Okay. They go to the shelter, so I want my money back with you too. Something
So
like that.
They got the dog from the shelter.
Okay.
Called me for training.
You training?
I did one session, like 1 hour with them.
1 hour.
And then they brought the dog back to the shelter and asked me for the money back. I didn't get the chance to do my
Listen,
job.
people, you need to respect other people. Other
That-
people time.
And you gotta give the dog a chance. Like, it's not gonna be overnight. And it was a puppy too, man. That's the sucky part. Like, it was a puppy to where every puppy is gonna be the same 9 times out of 10. Like, they gonna puppy bite. They gonna disrespect you. They gonna jump on you. Puppy's gonna be a puppy.
It's a baby.
So you got to teach it. And if you don't teach it, it's going to be a dog. Like, at the end of the day, so I didn't do a refund. I don't do a refund, honestly, unless that dog dies. Because I have that much confidence in myself that I'm going to do my job. I'm going to show up. I'm going to give you everything you need. And if we don't get your dog where we want it and where it needs to be by the end of our sessions, we're going to keep on training.
But I think that was disrespectful what they do. Like, bring back the dog to the shelter and they ask you for the money back. Like, they're playing.
Yeah.
They're playing with the puppy, with your time, and with money.
I tell people, like, every puppy, or some people just, you don't need a dog. Like, people think of it as a companion. And I'm like, yeah, it's a companion, but you're not just going to go have a baby just because you need company or your child needs a friend. No, you going to have a baby for the right reasons. It's the same thing with the dog. Like, dogs require time, education, the same things a child needs.
So when is the perfect time to have a dog?
I don't even want to say when you have time in a yard, because that's not necessary. Like,
No.
it's a myth that you got to have a big yard to have a big dog. I had my dog in an apartment complex and we did just fine. I don't want,
Be honest
trying
with
to
the
think
people.
of ideal time to have a dog is just when you're dedicated. I would say when you're dedicated, they don't require all this time that people think. Like, they can move around your time. You just got to communicate, hey, this is the time that I have, just like we do with kids. Like some days I may not have time for my daughters, but I'm like, hey, this is the time I have to give, and then after that I'm done. Same thing for the puppy, but don't leave it out. Put it in the kennel.
So do you think kennels are great? People think that are, that is abuse. People
Man.
need to understand kennel can save your life.
Yep, I tell everybody.
Training a leash can save your life. Your dog can save your life with that training. Just the kennel and the leash.
I tell people kennel saves lives, and a leash just isn't an option, man. Like,
But my question, what I want to say, Will, why these people that leave the dog on chain 24 hours, why they do it? What they want to achieve with their dog in chain 24 hour?
I
in a
really don't
fence?
know. I think it's some people have the old school mindset. And I mean, back then dogs used to be outside dogs. But also back then, dogs had jobs, man. Like dogs were in this generation, dogs are family now. Back then, it was, man, that dog got to go herd by cattle. That dog got to protect my yard. So there was a call for the dog to be outside.
Yeah.
Now things are different. Life has
But
changed.
in chains, what about in chains? Nowadays, 2024.
If your
What
dog
is
is
happening?
outside chained up nowadays, 9 times out of 10 it's because they think the dog is going to tear their house up, which it probably will, needs training. But also, I just became familiar with how close dog fighting is to us, man. Like, I had a client in Bell Chase recently, and they were like, yeah, they dog fight right down Highway 23. And I'm like, what? They dog fight out here? I thought that was like I don't know. I didn't think that was here in Louisiana.
So dog fighting, like
Dog,
those
like-
one for money.
And I'm talking like the police are doing busts back there, like of dog fighting rinks that are fighting. These people are fighting dogs back there. I heard of it out here, not in Slidell.
Where is the address, Will, of this dog fighting?
I know I had a parent in, I think it was Ponchatoula.
No,
Like,
Will,
and I'm like,
don't say the address.
oh, I don't know the address. Now, see, if I had the address, I can't talk about that. But I don't have the, but I'm just finding out that it's
It's a thing.
local, and that's weird to me, man. Like, I don't know. I don't see the benefit in that, man.
So that's
Like,
animal abuse.
yeah, you got to be a bad person. That's like watching kids fight or something, man. I don't get a high out of that. Yes, I was a kid and I fought, but I don't get a high out of like fighting. I'm not the most peaceful person in
Yeah.
world peace, but it's like I can't sit and watch fighting for entertainment. That's not entertainment to me.
And get hurt, dogs, sometimes
serious.
these dogs can hurt, like die. And that's my next question. In your training, you have any dog that died that touched you? Like after you training for a few months, years,
Man.
you get touched in your heart with the dog and then die for some reason, touch you cry a lot, something like that. Any stories that you can share?
Probably my first. I had just moved back to Louisiana, or not Louisiana, but New Orleans. 3-4 years in, I started my board and training program, and I had this dog named Oliver. He had like a mental issue where he just like flash out. I think they classified as like rage syndrome or something like that. And he ended up passing. I've had like 3 that I know off the top of my head like end up passing, and it was just like had one that had, I think it was an enlarged heart. Another one was a badly bred golden retriever, and she had some kind of like heart issue. So I've had some, man, and it's sad. Like when I get close to my dogs, I call myself like their stepdad. So I get close, like I'm close to the parents. I'm also the parents know they could call me for anything they need for that dog. And it sucks, but I also, in this business, I have to realize sometimes it's a business.
Yeah, but you're human. And continue with my story after I move. For that moment when Roma have cancer, I never feel more depressed and a person who cry so much and put my emotion. Since that moment, Roma sickness changed my feelings, my vibe, my emotions in all the things that I do. So I was a crying baby. So I watch a movie, cry, boom. Even it was an action thriller movie, cry.
And I'll tell you, man, and I'm not one of those like vibey people that believes in like Scorpio signs or whatever they call them. But like dogs pull it out you, man. They will, like they say girls change your life. Like I was a normal guy in high school jock.
Yeah.
But like dogs can, just like they say girls change your lives, dogs do that, man. They'll make you flip and turn into something that you weren't before. They give you what you need. Like what maybe they were like, you need to show more emotion. They could push that out you, man. I don't know how they do it, or the man upstairs, like he made them that way.
I don't know.
But it's amazing, like the things that they can do, and
So-
I've seen them do.
So I'm a tennis player. When that happened, my athletics, my what I was producing to that moment, I was like increasing my level. And when that happened, I go down so fast in every tennis match. I was very emotional. And then it take me until this day to recover that emotion that she gave me, the connection with my heart. So I put emotion in everything now. It's crazy, changed me. And now Roma is good with other dogs. So when I do the boarding, she's the boarding with other dogs. We fix her. You know,
Man,
she's
that's
with other
amazing.
dogs without the leash, without biting, without nothing. Even other dogs come to my house and that I board, and boom, she's with her. She's so grateful after we take her. You know, we cut the leg because it was painful for her. Wow, I
That's-
wish she can live forever.
Man, so and it's crazy to me. Like that's the dog you have that's across the street from me that won't come through the damn gate. And I've told my girls, I've told my fiance, I'm like,
If
I
that
truly hope
dog-
that dog better not come through this gate. Like they'll tell you, like I'm like, man, I hope this dog don't come through that gate because I'm gonna have to make a decision. The dog,
Now,
the other dog,
if that happened, she know the command. Just say no. You know, she's running to you.
that's what I would do first.
Yeah.
Like, straight dog running
Just
at me.
say,
I'ma give you a
Roma,
shot.
no.
I know her name.
Roma,
now. That's
no.
funny. Now I could talk to her. Like when she barking at
No.
me through the fence, Roma, stop.
One day, she was in Puerto Rico. She go to the avenue.
Well, she got miles.
No. It was I was how you say this? I was picking her to put it in the car, and one of the barbers he was holding her, and I say Roma in, but you know you cannot like leave her because she's like heavy, so
Right.
he drop it like he understand like Roma is gonna jump to the car. So when it's in, she's like helping you, but you helping her.
Right.
So he drop it and she start to run flip to the avenue, a big avenue. And you know, in that avenue, cross cars like every second, like this avenue,
It's
like
busy.
exactly. So I run after her. You know, I was getting hit by a car, and I say, "Roma, no, down," and she down in the middle of the avenue, and I pick her up.
That's Dobermans.
That
man.
no, that's the power of training.
Yeah. Dobermans are on their shit. I've seen some Dobies and I'm like, God, I'm gonna be honest, my dog would never, I'm not gonna say never. He doesn't have, you know, you have smart children. He's smart, but Dobermans have a different kind of intelligence.
Wow.
Like they got it, man. They have dogs that are smarter than others, of course. All of them are smart, but
Yeah.
everybody can't be a doctor or an attorney.
Yeah.
That's the levels I take it. Like everybody could do something with their life. So all dogs I look at have a purpose, but Dobies, German Shepherds, like it takes higher intelligence than a normal dog to do what they do. And once a Dobie's locked in, man, you could get them to do anything.
Yeah,
And you get to enjoy that. That's cool that you get to enjoy that, man.
She's amazing. She understands like I don't know, maybe 20 words, 20 commands. In
English and Spanish?
It's English and Spanish. And you know, with her limitation with the 3 legs, It's sad because one of those commands is it was like get up, but now she cannot do it. But I tease her like get up, and she's like ready, but she knows she can't because she have 3 legs now, so she cannot jump any furniture or bed or something.
Right.
And what I'm telling you with this is the power of training with your job make my life easier, my life happy, my dog happy. And I want you to share that I'm happy that you share that job like my friends in Puerto Rico, because that fixed my life. Without that, I love my dog so much. Without training, I don't know how I can handle all those situations very difficult, because another person that have no training, no awareness that training is easy, they get rid of the dog and that's it.
Yep.
They quit on the dog and the dog get depressed and die depressed because I cannot fix this dog.
That kind of gave me butterflies because, like, doing this for so long, like, I'm just like, man, I'm doing my job at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't realize the impact sometimes that I make on whether it's the dog's life, the parent's life. Yeah, I kind of know, but like for you, it kind of brought all of that into perspective and said, like, man, it's always good to feel appreciated in a sense. And something like my father-in-law always told me, and this was maybe a year or two ago, he told me, I train my dog because it's an investment and this dog wasn't an investment. And I thought about that. It is an investment. You invest into your kids' education and all this stuff. It's an investment, but it's needed for you and the dog, because especially in your situation, man, like you'd probably be going through hell and back if you wouldn't have took training serious with your dog.
Yeah.
To go up every elevator floor, that's what's necessary to get your situation fixed. If you would have did that once a month or something, you'd probably still be dealing with it. But I know you had to do it probably every day or something to like get it fixed.
And I remember I was tired because I'm blessed that I own my hours. I'm blessed that I don't need to go to 9 to 5.
Right.
So I put the job in the dog, right? But I remember I was tired because floor by floor, she go to pee 4 or 5 times a day. So it was tired for me, for my wife, our peace. So I decided to go to a trainer. She want to charge me $6,000. And she want to take the dog 2 months with her. But she was pretty honest with me. She tell me, listen, I can train your dog 2-3 months with me and you are gonna have another dog. But if she's gonna live there when she's triggered, it's not gonna make sense if you pay me.
Yep.
Because the problem is there. So...
And I tell people, like, a lot of times in your case.
So she saved me $6,000.
Hell yeah.
Because that was the reality.
And I'm always all about like giving people advice on what they could do to fix their problem. But a lot of people, they want that accountability.
Yeah.
Like they know once they pay me, they're like, hell, I got to do it.
Yeah.
But also, like in your case, Roma needed to develop a trust with you that was never going to happen again.
Yeah.
That you can handle her, that you have her back. Because let's say she would have went to the trainer. She would have learned to develop a trust for the trainer.
Yeah.
But then she goes back to you and she's like, all right, I know our relationship and you don't have my back. Dogs aren't thinking about, oh, well, I'm going to get through this situation. It's life or death to them. That's instincts. It's either am I going to live or am I going to die? Fight or flight. It's one extreme to the other. You don't get that middle ground.
Yeah.
With animals. Unfortunately, they can't process information like that. So I really commend you, man, for going through that process. And it's cool that you can appreciate like what I do because you did it for yours.
And then also I was talking with my friends in Puerto Rico, with that trainer in particular. She was very good. My friends very good. We try few things, because that was a hard situation. So we tried the leash, that was normal. We tried the floor by floor, and then we escalate things to a chalk collar. I have the chalk collar, and I have the air, the air. Psst.
Yep.
I think I first tried with the air. It worked pretty great. The air, wow. that's a thing that is not expensive, and it worked really, really great. And then we escalate again, because remember, if you don't train your dog often and come back to a situation, another dog came and she reset, you need to start again.
Yeah.
So we escalate again. So we go to the chalk color, and then it was too strong, and I was suffering, and then I decided to go to the stairs. But walking with the stairs give her calm, like she was enjoying to go outside.
And there was a way around it. Like,
Yeah,
I get it. Sometimes people, you don't want to go to that extreme, because I tell people I have a heart too. So sometimes I'm like, I don't want to push your dog that far. You
Yeah.
don't want to push your dog that
Yeah.
far. This is what we can do to get around this issue. Like, we don't have to spearhead everything unless you want to. Like, if I want something out of my dog, hey, we gonna grind through it. But every dog isn't my dog. I have to realize that with everybody I deal with, it's not my dog, it's yours. So I have to look into perspective of, are you gonna put your dog through this? And if it's
Exactly.
not, we just gonna go around it.
that's exactly right. And I'm happy that you are like aware, you're human, because some people, another trainer tell me, bring me the dog, it's $2,000 and that's it. Not give me options like the other lady. It was more expensive, but she was more open to tell me the reality of things.
Right.
And you are like that. 10 years give you experience, because in the end, it cannot be always money.
Nah, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a job. This is
It's a
how I
job.
support my family. But on the other end, like you said, I'm human. So I have to look in a perspective sometimes. Like, yes, this dog is dangerous. I don't know if it lives around kids, or like what's in its environment, to where if I don't jump in within a couple of weeks, somebody's life can be on the line. Like that
It's
dog.
in the line.
It's not always the case, but sometimes I have to take that into perspective. Or you just got a new puppy. That puppy get on your nerves enough. Eventually, you're going to put him out and you're going to sell it, or you're going to bring him to the shelter. Shelters are full.
Wow.
So I have to look at both sides from a human side, and I got to save a dog sometimes, because if you don't get this right, you got to get out.
So I have a dog, and my dog have issues like regular stuff, jumping, don't getting too long with the distance with the leash, like biting stuff,
Right.
and I'm hesitating to have training. What is your message for me?
Do it. Like, you're going to get more than that. We see the big issue, like the jumping, the puppy biting, and things like that. That's hitting you right now, but the benefit of it after training is, it's awesome. Like, even if you do the most basic training, just to be able to communicate and the levels you can take that to after we're done, it's pretty. You get to enjoy your dog. You get to enjoy the reason you got your dog. You didn't get your dog to be fussing, hooping, hollering at the whole time you have that puppy. You got the dog to enjoy some form of life around it. So you get to enjoy that with training. Even if your dog like knows not to run out the door with training, of course, now your dog knows not to go out the front door, so you can start to leave the front door open and they can hang out a little bit more free. You don't have to be nervous slamming the door in the dog's face. Just the simple things can enrich a dog's life so much, and yours, to where you get to enjoy certain things.
Yeah, and the dog is more happy. People are still thinking that training is abuse. It's not abuse.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, I'm very confident it's not abuse. I think it's abuse that you are not training the dog.
Yep. I tell people don't humanize the dog. Like if you take a dog today, put it outside and let that puppy be raised outside in the world, it's a totally different world than the animal pack. Like those dogs have packs, it's structured, they have rules. You better listen or that the higher dog is gonna be on your behind. It's the same when they come into our lives, like we can give them the same thing. When we go to work, everybody got somebody to listen to. We gotta listen to our clients.
Yeah.
Everybody has an overhead. So it's the same thing for the animal. So in your house with your dog, you're the overhead. You should have rules, structure, discipline, things that dog can and can't do. My dog, I'm not a stickler about no dogs in the kitchen. But sometimes I'm like, hey, get out of here. Or he knows not to go out the door unless I say so. Those are just simple rules that's not hurting his life. It's actually saving him.
Exactly. Boundaries.
Boundaries. Yep.
Boundaries.
That's it.
So thank you, Will, for being here with me.
Thanks for having
I'm
me.
gonna
Man, I
share all
appreciate
the
this.
information with the people, here watch this. Any question that you have or any message that you want to bring to the world?
If you have questions, feel free to reach out. I am an open book. Some people look at me on, I guess, social media and stuff, and they might think that I think I'm too much or something. I don't know. But
much.
like, I am an open person. I could talk about this stuff all day. I tell everybody, like, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you got a question, send us a message or download our app in the App Store, Wilfred's Dog Training, and you can send us a message on there.
Thank you, Will.